Assalamu alaikum viewers, you are watching Modest Muse in Review with me, Mushra Hartley. I'm the editor of Modest Muse lifestyle publication, the lifestyle publication aimed at Muslim women, but now more recently we've got a male audience as well. Today with me in studio I've got our very first male guest, being the CEO of a tourism company, and then I've also got a super stay-at-home mom who's a phenomenal writer, Farnaz. And we'll chat about their pieces that they contributed to Modest Muse. Firstly, in studio, I've got Anwar Jakut. How are you, Anwar?
I'm well, and shukran for having me.
Now, this is an honor. You are our very first male guest in the show. And the reason why you're here is because you are in the know about all things Oman.
Well, I hope so.
Now, Anwar, you and I have chatted at length about Oman being a hidden gem in the Middle East. You know, these places that are buzzwords, Dubai's, so tell us a bit about Oman and why we need to go there.
Okay, firstly, let me say this, that the word hidden first and foremost. When I was first invited to Oman by a mutual friend, I didn't know where Oman was really.
Now, I don't know where it is.
It was basically, if I looked at I went back to the map, in fact. You know, I've traveled quite extensively, and the only thing I know in the Middle East is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and places like Doha.
Yes.
And then going there to the map, having a look at exactly where Muscat was in particular where I was going to go to. I found it is bordered basically by the United Arab Emirates to the northwest, to the west Saudi Arabia, and to the southeast was Yemen. And it shared the Straits of Hormuz with Iran. So if you look at it, it's a very strategic location.
Very central.
Very central and very strategic as well, because it takes you into the Persian Gulf. Right, so that's the hidden part, because I didn't know exactly where Muscat was. And you know, looking forward to the trip, obviously I did a bit of homework, and that was last year, May. Initially, it was first just to look at business opportunities. All right, but you know, going forward and having been there for the first time, we found out, look, there is a lot of potential, all right, for tourism.
Not just for business.
Not just for business in particular. All right, tourism, it's another option, all right, for the GCC countries. And the other important thing that I like to stress is that the Omanis, in fact, welcome South Africans. And you ask me why. Number one, most GCC countries, you need a visa to go to in advance.
Yes.
In Oman, you get one on arrival.
Wow. So there's no long waiting for a visa.
No. When you arrive, it costs you about $5 for a 10-day visa. And anything longer than that, up to 30 days, about $15.
So you only apply for the visa once you arrive?
You just get there with your passport and you are given a visa as a South African.
That's amazing.
So if you look at all the other GCC countries, you need to apply for the visa in advance. So just that alone, you know, made me feel welcome to go to Oman.
And then what is there to see? What is in terms of tourist attractions, and is it expensive?
Yes and no. If you look at the exchange rate, right, and that would put a lot of people off. In that we're looking at, I think, 38 rands to one Omani rial.
Wow.
Right, but it's linked to the dollar, obviously. Right, it's 2.6, you know, Omani rial to the dollar. So, yes, at first glance, you would say it's an expensive place to go to, but if you know how to travel.
It's all relative. I mean, a can of Coke would probably be in dollars.
Definitely all relative. Right, if you look at the packages that we are actually advertising in the Modest Muse, right, it compares favorably with those people that are going on Umrah, number one, to Mauritius. And
I think looking at your packages, I think it's cheaper than Umrah.
Yes, no, most definitely. I didn't want to say that. You said it. You said it. So, you know, in retrospect, it is definitely it's something different to go and see. And you're asking the question, what's different about it? If you look at Oman and you compare it to Dubai is mostly man-made. All right, and I've been there a few times. It's mostly man-made. I've been to Doha, very similar, following the Dubai route. Oman is slightly different in that sense, is that they've kept their heritage.
Okay.
Right, even construction, they don't go higher than 4 stories high. And I've asked a question to local Omanis about that. What they've said to me is that they don't try and build their buildings higher than the minarets.
Wow.
Right. Secondly, Oman also has some mountains, which none of these countries have.
So
it gives
you're
a
saying
different
it's the only country with mountains, and is there greenery included with mountains?
You do have some greenery, and if you look at the things like the wadis, for instance, because of the mountainous regions, you have gorges. So you have the wadis. When wadis means it's a gorge that fills up when there's rain.
Yes.
And that is something different to what you have in the other countries. In the other countries, GC countries, you have your desert, mostly desert, and man-made, attractions.
So this really is a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem. It's something totally different.
So I suppose in these wadis or little valleys, you've got a bit of tropical greenery.
Yes, some greenery because of the water, coming through.
For sports fanatics out there, are they available to hike?
Yes, but because it fills up very quickly and could be unexpectedly, it's probably better to go with a company.
Okay.
That knows the ins and outs of the rainfall patterns and so forth.
So from a tourist perspective, what is there to do? And for like a mom like me would always be asking, what is there to do with the kids?
Look, they've got their beautiful, pristine beaches, number one. They've got shopping malls. It's not man-made. They've got some beautiful shopping malls. They've got some beautiful sightseeing places to go to. And some of them would be like the Sultan Qaboos Mosque, which is really a stunning architecture. You've got the Mushra mall area and the souks, all right, and you've got a lot of coastline.
Okay.
So you've got a lot of natural beauty.
I've also had a look in the article. You list some of the hotels.
Yeah.
The hotels themselves, like you say, they keep to their heritage. They've got this beautiful architecture. In each building has a little bit of character.
Yes, it has its own history.
Yes.
There's character, history, and they cater as well for your backpackers from apartments to your top, 5-star hotels as well.
And food, all halal?
Food is all halal, and there is one of the something I haven't really gone into that well is the food, but because I was on business.
Yes.
But I find that the Turkish influence in the food is quite big.
Okay.
And then also Iranian, because the Omanis and Iranians, they get along very well,
Yes.
and they share the Strait of Hormuz, and the business activity between the two countries, it's also booming.
Now you mentioned you went over initially for business.
Yeah.
Are there business opportunities there? Are there opportunities for expats to work over there?
Yes, number one, obviously in the teaching fraternity.
Okay, teaching English as a
Foreign language, right? That is one. Oman has also done something slightly different to Dubai.
Okay.
Right, whereas Dubai effectively went just the tourism route, and they built, let's say, 500 hotels.
Yeah.
The Omanis said, no, they'll build 50.
Okay.
But they're spending a lot of money in infrastructure, like building railways, especially
Yes.
freight rail, the free zone ports, which we call IDZs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunity in construction. There's opportunity in tourism, right? There's opportunity in food.
Okay.
Right, we all
And I
know
suppose in engineering as well,
Yes,
if the opportunities there for
because of the construction. You'll have engineering, you'll have civils, you'll have quite a bit of industries allied to the construction industry, right? And then obviously with that comes technology. The one thing, because Modest Muse actually looks at the female perspective, if I might say so, that's something that struck me as well.
Okay.
One of the largest companies in Oman, which we in fact have an agreement with in the tourism sector, and they are a multifaceted company. I think it's their CEO,
Yeah.
he's a female, and that stood out for me, especially
in full hijab. She does. Okay.
her scarves on and whatever.
Wow.
Then also when we visited some of the ministries, we were pleasantly surprised that one of the directors of ITHRA, which is the import-export, like our industrial, well, not industrial relations, what we call them here, it's another name. And we just give it a bit of break there. What do we call our? It's not foreign affairs.
Isn't it Minister for
No, our trade and industry.
Okay,
Our trade and yes, okay. Yeah. One of the ladies that did the presentation, the director of ITHRA, which is similar to our
Department of Trade and Industry.
Industry,
Okay.
Was a female.
Okay.
Same with the special economic zones, all right, was a female. So that took me a bit by surprise, having been in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and those places where when you meet people with that stature or categories,
They're mostly male.
they're male. So,
This really sets Oman apart.
that set them apart as well for me.
That's fantastic. So what you're saying is when people talk about business opportunities overseas, you mainly think it's the male CEO going over there, taking his idea and seeing it through to fruition. You're saying that our modest muses can go over there by all means, the engineers, the construction women, they can go over there as well.
If they have an MD of one of the largest corporations as a female, I don't see the problem.
The possibilities are endless.
And for females as well.
So tell us a bit about Oman's plans for the future. Are they expanding for tourism? Do they have a 2050 plan?
Look, the tourism sector, I think they've already got a 2020 vision. In fact, at one of the meetings, in fact, with I think it was the Minister of Commerce in May that we attended, they actually they boasted about the fact that they've poached one of the designers of our Vienna waterfront to assist them, right, in one of their ports.
Wow.
To make it into a passenger terminal for these big new floating palaces that was being built all over the show now. And so yes, they are moving in the direction,
so not only is there a lot to see now, but in the future there will be more to see.
Exactly. But again, as they said, unlike some of their words, I won't quote them verbatim, but unlike the other Arab brothers, they won't make the same mistakes. They've learned from that. They won't build 500 hotels, they'll build 50.
Okay.
But they will build infrastructure.
I think if you keep things smaller as well, you're able to manage the quality better.
Most definitely.
So tell us a bit about where people how do they reach you, how do they get to Oman? If they want to make inquiries, what can they do?
They obviously would call our offices, and I'm not going to give any of those things on.
We'll include the detail, your website details, and people can contact you there.
They must read the Modest Muse.
They must read the article.
They must read the article, in Modest Muse, and that is where they will get all the information.
Last question, Anwar. Are there direct flights from Cape Town to Oman, or is it via Joburg?
In fact, at our meeting in Oman in May last year, that was one of the questions they've asked us to look at, is the direct flight scenario. Because at the moment you fly either via Dubai, via Doha, or Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Right. The beauty of it is that from all those cities, it's only a 1-hour flight onto Muscat. The last thing also that I must mention, something that you asked previously, how do they get to us? What we do have on board as well is a company called Travel Arena, which works closely with Gusto Holdings and Gusto Tourism, and they will be doing most of the actual bookings.
And their details are in the article as well. Fantastic, Anwar. You have gotten me itching with the holiday bug. Oman is definitely on my list, on my bucket list of things to see.
You've seen the special, so you should be booking sooner than later.
And it is a phenomenal special as well. And you could go there and then just stop by and do an umrah as well. Why not?
Most definitely.
Shukran for joining me in studio. It was a pleasure having you here, and it's great to know that we've got male readers as well.
Well, as you said, Modest Muse will be going places.
And we are definitely going places. One of them will be Oman. Thank you for joining us. After the break, we speak to Faranaz Khan.